Hey everyone, it's Tony Carver from TLC Style and Colour here. I am continuing your mini video series on decluttering in small, manageable chunks. Now that's not to say that I don't think a big declutter exercise is worthwhile. I do definitely think so. And often when I do them with clients, either face-to-face or virtually, my suggestion is to get everything out and try and do everything in one go. The problem with that is that two things: you might not have enough time to be able to commit to doing such an exercise. The second thing is actually it can be a little bit overwhelming to see a mound of clothes and shoes and bags and everything else all out that you know you're going to have to sort through. It is worth it, but it's not always practical to do so. So in this video series this week, I'm actually focusing on makeup and toiletries. Because I do find that actually we can hoard makeup and toiletries just as much as we can hoard clothes. But because we're not wearing it every day or things like that, then what happens is that we tend to forget about what we've actually got. So for instance, we tend to, I find, store things in multiple places. That can be organisation skills, what room you've got, where you can actually store things. Of course, it can be all those things. But the problem with it being that actually you can easily lose track of what you've actually got. So that moment when you go to buy an item that you're running out of and then you look in the cupboard once you've got it and realise you've already got one, that happens. It's happened to me and I'm sure it's happened to you. So what you want to do, wherever you store them, so you can actually break it down into two sessions. You can focus on your makeup in one session and then focus on toiletries in another session. But ultimately, whatever it is, where they're being stored, you need to be able to get everything out. You need to be able to wipe everything down, clean it down. So that is your makeup bags. If your makeup bag is one that can be washed, I'd stick it in the washing machine. If indeed it's one that perhaps needs wiping out, then get the antibacterial wipes or a spray and give it a good clean inside to actually really cleanse that. And the same for your boxes and shelves and things like that of where you store them, because we tend to be touching them all the time. So actually they can end up quite grimy really in the end. So the other thing is actually to look at what you've got. So the thing is though, is that we've all been there as well. You've perhaps bought something. It could be a lipstick, it could be a mascara, it could be a moisturiser, but actually either it's not liked you or you've not liked it, or indeed it doesn't suit you. So in the case of cosmetics, I find this all the time. If you don't know what your colouring type is and you're not sure what suits you, then this is where you're going to make makeup mistakes. So actually this is where you're going to end up buying, say, a lipstick or a blusher that's not the most complementary shade for you. And then what happens, I find, is that you don't use it. So of course you don't use it because it doesn't suit you. You don't like how you look in it because it's not for you. But rather than bin it and cut your losses, you keep hold of it. You're never going to wear it. It doesn't work for you. It doesn't suit you. So really, what's the point in keeping hold of it? Of course, if you've got, children, grandchildren, nieces, all those kind of things of people who might like to or could get more use out of it, then obviously you can hand down to them and they could, in the case of a lipstick, scrape off the top. So in order to actually, if you like, cleanse it and declutter it so it's more antibacterial friendly, because you've left, obviously you've got rid of your germs, so to speak, for want of a better word. But in the case of a mascara, I wouldn't be handing it down because actually you're going to have grime and things like that can actually pass on, and actually you could end up with infection. So be careful, obviously, about what it is that you pass on. And if in doubt, just as painful as it is, it might be worthwhile cutting your losses and putting it in the bin. So if, for example, you've got, for some reason, you buy lots of lipsticks. You've got 20 plus lipsticks in your makeup drawer, but actually you don't even wear lipstick. It's a bit of a waste, So you've got to be realistic. Have a look at what you've got. Have a look about what's been opened, what you use, what you don't use, what suits you, what doesn't suit you, and actually make be realistic, be honest with yourself, because if it doesn't like you or you don't like it and it doesn't suit you, you're never going to wear it. So it's best to get rid of it whilst you can. What you want to keep is the things that you're going to use. So when it comes to dates, I've got to talk to you about use by dates, because any sort of cosmetic or toiletry will have these like use by dates, and they'll have like a little pot sign, if you can see that there, little pot sign, and that's basically the indicator to tell you how long it's best for. It's use by date, and it will have it on your toiletries as well. Can you see that there? And what happens is that that's basically telling you that once you've opened this item, it needs to be used during the period that's shown on the product, because that's when it's at its best. Now, if there's something that said, say, 12 months, like the cream there, and actually you opened it 2 years ago, chances are it's not going to be at its best. And obviously, depending upon what's in your toiletries, will actually depend as well in terms of the length of time that is really, really nice for. So if it doesn't look right, it doesn't smell right, the consistency's changed, and you've had it open for a while, I would definitely get rid of it, unfortunately. So definitely keep an eye in terms of, you can see that little sign there. So again, on a mascara, for instance, that's 6 months. A lot of toiletries and cosmetics are actually 12 months, but just look, each brand will differ. So have a look on the container, see what it advises, and do it in the right way. So now you can undertake your own makeup and toiletry declutter exercise. So get everything out, have a look at it, get rid of anything that you don't use, and actually then keep things that you are going to wear and that you are going to use, as painful as it is. Another tip for you, which I find quite useful, not so much in makeup, but definitely for toiletries. What you also need to be able to do is think about your makeup brushes and your sponges. So make sure that your makeup brushes are regularly cleaned. I understand not everybody wants to clean their makeup brushes every day, but really you do need to be cleaning them at least once a week. You can use those brush eggs or those little things, with the bristles on, so you can actually cleanse them. Use something like some form of makeup brush cleaner, or even like the micellar water as well. That can be really useful for getting rid of grime. That's not coming up with a light. And the other thing that you can also do with your sponges is to wash them regularly as well. Ideally after each use is what I would recommend, and what I do with my makeup brush sponges. Put them in a netted bag and chuck them in the washing machine so that they are clean. When they start to fall away and they start to break, it's time to get rid of them. But they're readily available from a range of stores, and of course online as well. So that is your declutter, your makeup and toiletry session. Good luck with the mission. It feels like a mission with makeup. And if you need any help or any advice, then please do let me know.